our Rush collections grew through the years. And with each phase of media, we grew along with that, collecting their Rush albums over and over again, which is actually kind of cool in that I have here a cassette tape. My very first Rush, by the way. This is it. The original. This is what got me hooked. Different visual media. I have a cassette tape over here. This is the DVD, all the way to Blu-ray. So through the years, our collections grew in each format that they came along. From analog to digital to a better refined high-definition version of digital for video, and so-called with 8-track to tape to CD. So there's so many different collections, and that's what we're going to talk about. The different ways in which we've collected Rush through the years. I'm going to show you some of my stuff. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Got my drumsticks in case I make a bad joke, I can go. All right, guys, I'm Eric. We're going to have a lot of fun, and let's go. Audio cassette. A strange little thing. We had vinyl, we had 8 tracks, and then these. Not the best sound quality. It was stereo, that's good. And it was actually, could be eaten by tape decks, but here's what was great. It was portable. This was our first entry into something, 8 tracks, yes, we could use. But this allowed this to go into a Walkman. Or a boombox. The same cassette. Or put it into your car. Or your home stereo. You know, the 2 deck where you can record between the two. Of course, I think I gave that away years ago. But the point is, I used to have one, right? A Sony double tape deck. Yes, this right here, what I'm holding in my hands, is the very first Rush that I got. And this is a cover. 2112. This changed everything. For me personally. Before this, it was pop music. It was top 40. I'd listen to it while I'd play in my room. I'd listen to top 40. It's all I knew. And not that I'm not saying there were actually some good songs on there. Some pretty good pop rock music, yeah. And I was actually into Depeche Mode and some other bands. But when I heard Rush, when I popped this tape in, and through my dad's, I think, Sanyo stereo, you know, the kind where it's one big cabinet box, like this big, and it had tape, and it had a receiver for a radio, and a vinyl, a record player on top, and then like some kind of stupid little multi-band equalizer. You know the kind, right? If you're old enough, you know what I'm talking about. It was Sanyo with 2 tower speakers. Wow, though. My goodness. When I popped this in, right, and those space sounds, right, those sounds start, and it freaked out. Every time I played for my little sister, it freaked her out. In later years, I'd play it for my daughter, and she would freak out. It's really spooky to kids, by the way. The beginning of 2112 is super spooky. I've always loved that. I loved creeping out little kids with this music, but this changed everything. And so, yeah, this is my first tape. And, of course, I kept collecting tapes for a while. I found 4 of them as an example. This is Hold Your Fire, okay? Which, this is around the time that I discovered Rush. It was, late 80s. And both of these, I believe I got through one of those stupid tape clubs, Columbia or something like that. But that's what I had. We all did it back then. Come on. You can admit it, right? You can admit you did a tape club at one point. And then this is a show of hands. Again, same time period. You can kind of see a little window, right? I went back to this, had to get this. But these were around that same time period. And then Chronicles, of course. Chronicles was one of the first CDs that I bought. The double album, of greatest hits. Chronicles. And then, back during that era, long before our digital playlists, right? Long before Spotify and all that kind of stuff, I made Pulses. Rush Pulses. A name I came up with for this mixtape of songs. Can you see them? Yeah. These are the softer, more gentle side of Rush, if you will. Slower type songs, more gentle side. I wanted a mixtape of that. I thought that would be unique. I called it Pulses. If you look up, I think it's Loudboy 2112 or it's Eric Gardner 2112 on Spotify. You can find my account. I've taken this, 18 song, and I expanded it, I believe, to 33. And I actually made a video about this, about my pulses. But yeah, so back in this day, this is what we had for a time period, right? If it wasn't vinyl, and just before CD, we had tapes. And then, of course, the great thing about tapes was how easy it was to make our own. So I'd take my Rush collection, and probably by the time I did this mixtape, I had all the CDs, right? So I owned all this music, and then I made my own mixtape, recording CD to tape, and one song after another. So yeah, cassette tapes, interesting little pit stop in audio media, just before CD. So as we stand here in 2025, physical media for video, of course, we have Blu-ray, we have 4K Blu-ray. That's where we're at now. But working up to that, we went through 3 different iterations of type of video. One of which is, this is a cassette tape for Rush Chronicles, and has a bunch of their music videos on the back. So when Chronicles came out, there was a music video, and of course it's called Chronicles, an actual VHS videotape, all in 4x3, all analog video. Then, when DVD came around, we went digital. Still 4x3, remastered, slightly better quality, because DVD is slightly better quality than VHS. But yes, this is the actual DVD, okay? Which then, that allowed us to have selectable menus, wherein you can have a menu, and like, I want to listen to this song, I want to listen to this song, and cue it up like that, just like you can with a CD, with an interactive on-screen menu. You know how DVD works. So that was great. Huge improvement over VHS. Rush and Rio also put out on DVD. This is a double DVD of Rush and Rio. Okay, when the boys went down, including a documentary called The Boys in Brazil. And what's great is with DVDs, it was really common back then to have Easter eggs. This one has Easter eggs. It says, to find the Bytor movie, listen for the reference and press enter. Or to find the Anthem 1975, choose the correct combination and unlock the vault. Easter eggs. Love them. That was a cool little thing. And I used to make DVDs, actually. I've made many DVDs myself. And it is quite easy when you know how to use DVD software, authoring software to author a DVD. That's what it's called. When I created menus, I could actually have hidden buttons, or I could have press right at this place, and it would actually trigger either another menu or trigger a video file that I've embedded onto the DVD. So I've done a lot of DVD production myself. So I love it when people make Easter eggs, because I used to do the same with my home movies. I'd make a DVD and I'd actually bake Easter eggs into them and secret menus and stuff. But I digress. So yes, this is R30, also put out on DVD, also has Easter eggs as well. And I love this one. On the back it says, Easter eggs, good luck, find them. So that's really cool. And that's something they continued onto Blu-ray as well. I believe the Clockwork Angels one has a hidden Easter egg where you press a menu button up or down or whatever, and it triggers the Alex joke. You guys are probably well versed in knowing what that is, and I've actually included it in one of my videos before. Neil Peart had a couple DVDs, instructional videos on how to do solos, how to compose drums, and this is one of them called Anatomy of a Drum Solo, and this is all Neil Peart, okay? Interviews with him talking about his drum setup, him talking about how to play drums in different rhythms and patterns, and exploring different drum patterns and ideas on his drum set. This is also put out on DVD. And then Alex went back because so much of their content was put out on VHS. He wanted to remaster them, and he did. I have one of those, and that one is A Show of Hands. Alex actually went through and did a remix, like a surround remix of the audio, and put out a new DVD. This is like early 2000s that Alex redid some old VHS, updated them for DVD. And of course, things got a lot better, of course. Moving away from 4x3, of course, DVDs could do widescreen, could do 16:9, but so much of what we had back then was called 4x3, right? Okay, our TVs at that time were 4:3, but when we went widescreen, 16:9 or even wider, but most of the time 16:9, that's something that we saw in full force because of HD. When we moved to high definition, we needed not only the bandwidth, we needed the storage and the capacity and therefore carrying quality, carrying a high definition video file with a much better audio presence. Okay, we had new audio mixes and Dolby sounds and DTS. All of those are baked into what we're talking about next, which is Blu-ray. So before we move on to Blu-ray, I did want to mention something really cool with the retrospective, and there were 3 of them. Okay, this is Greatest Hits of Rush. This is retrospective 3, and as you can see, it's from Presto all the way to Snakes and Arrows, and including feedback. Okay, so a great song list from all of those albums. But in addition, to update what we got with the music videos for Chronicles, came a DVD. Okay, so retrospective 3 had a CD with all of the songs on the back from these albums. In addition, has this DVD with it, with music videos updated all the way current through this release. So that was really cool because there are some really cool videos through that time that I really love, actually. One for Driven, where these cool little steampunk go-karts in a factory and Rush is just playing. It's a really cool video. Another one is Stick It Out, which I covered with my band in college. We did Stick It Out, and I got to sing Stick It Out. That was awesome. And so Stick It Out is also on here. Really weird, kind of funky video. Another one is Half the World, that music video. So yes, if you ever want to see Rush music videos, they're right here. Retrospective 3 comes with a DVD. Another weird thing happened during that time with the rise of computers and computers being able to play back video, and computer drives went beyond CD level. They went to like DVD level. Okay, their ability to read CD, DVDs, and data discs, of course, right? In which we could burn CDs, we could burn DVDs. During that time, Rush, Snakes and Arrows, okay, this is what, like 08-ish, came out with a hybrid disc. And on here, of course, is a 5.1 mix of Snakes and Arrows, a regular mix that you can play in your CD, and a video file that's much like a DVD menu. It actually has a menu on here, like a DVD. And this video file has what's called the Game of Snakes and Arrows, which is a documentary of them making Snakes and Arrows. This is the big bummer. Matt, you helped me, brother. It's actually right back here. I got this Blu-ray player. I bought it upon your recommendation. It does play this disc, but I cannot actually point to, and use the video file from this. It will not read that layer. I've yet to find a DVD player or a Blu-ray player in my house that can actually read the 5.1. It can play that back. Like I can play it right now in this Blu-ray player or that Blu-ray player. However, I can't. So I'm bummed about that. That documentary, The Game of Snakes and Arrows, was really cool. Rush, you know how you have the R50 collection? Please, let's do an R50 box set of your video content. Music videos, all these little sub-documentaries, updated versions of Game of Snakes and Arrows, or The Boys in Brazil, and all these great documentaries through the years. Let's put them all in one place, right? A playable Blu-ray. Rush, please, because I cannot play this. I wish I could. It was a great documentary. So yes, we went from DVDs that we've talked about to hybrid, which is like a DVD slash surround CD at the same time, to now finally Blu-ray. Okay, and there was a TV show on VH1 called Classic Albums. They covered 2 Rush songs during that TV show. One was 2112, the other one was Moving Pictures. And on this Blu-ray, okay, this is a great find. If you can find this, find it. Is 2112 and Moving Pictures. This full documentary they did about those 2 albums, and you could see the boys actually listening to the multi-tracks of these, and you could hear them playing the parts again, and just talking about a really deep dive into 2 of their greatest albums, easily, right? 2112, Moving Pictures. So now we're up to Blu-ray. And what do we get with Blu-ray? We get a better full surround experience for audio. And of course, now we get high definition video. All right? We're full HD, 1920 by 1080p resolution with 5.1 or greater surround. That's what Blu-ray brought us. Thank goodness, okay? I love the Blu-ray era. Of course, you guys probably know that there was a war. There always have been wars. Whether you're talking about Betamax or VHS or more modern times from DVD, but with Blu-ray or HD DVD. Did you know there was a war, by the way, between those two formats, HD DVD or Blu-ray? Blu-ray won. And what's really weird, throughout history, as format wars happened, right? This type of videotape versus this one, this type of disc versus this one, and so on through the years, guess what dictated the winner? The porn industry. Yeah. The flesh peddlers. Those creeps. They're the ones that, when the whatever format they've chosen throughout history of these different format wars, which version we're going to use, right? Whatever they've chosen is the way the industry has gone. There you go. Little tidbit for you. All right, here we go. Oh, my machine is off. I should edit this out. Ready? All right, here we go. Now it's up. I'll do better next time. Next up, Blu-ray, Snakes and Arrows. You guys, who is this? All right, Blu-ray, okay, Snakes and Arrows, right? Next up, Time Machine. Love this Blu-ray, so good. And it's just such a good, amazing concert and recording of this concert. Love this. Clockwork Angels tour, okay? Blu-ray. Beautiful surround, beautiful images, well directed, okay? Love this disc. And here's what's great. For these two, because of kids and life and just life, I was not able to see these concerts live. Rush comes out with surround, high definition video. This is how I got to see these. And we're so blessed that they did this, right? We're so blessed that Rush made, since their comeback, right? After they came back in the early 2000s, Rush made so many videos, and I'm so thankful for that. Because this is how I got to see the Time Machine tour. This is how I got to see the Clockwork Angels tour. Very thankful for that. Another tour I did get to see, last one ever, of course, is R40. Okay, and this is a great compilation where we have a Blu-ray plus 2 CDs of the full concert inside, and I believe the Blu-ray has a couple extra songs on it. But yes, R40, fantastic, great song list, great video, Blu-ray surround high definition. Another amazing thing is all these videos, Rush came out, right? Rush produced their own live videos through the years, and so many of these on Blu-ray. But then, of course, we are in the modern times. It came time, then they started making documentaries. People made documentaries of Rush. One of the best ones ever, of course, is Beyond the Lighted Stage. Fantastic, fantastic. Get it if you can, okay? And, of course, right towards the very end, actually at the very end, another documentary, Time Stands Still. This is more fan-focused. This one focused, of course, upon Rush, its entire history up until then, with lots of great interviews with actors and other musicians and people who played on the stage with them through the years. But this one was really fan-centric, from fan and user cons and all that, like RushCon. But still, fantastic, by the way. And how cool. I love it when they do that. So, Blu-rays. Now, one Christmas, my mom and my wife surprised me. And what a great surprise it was with this. The R40 Blu-ray book. It's not a box set, but it's a book. Oh, inside I have a classic Star Wars, by the way. Man, what year is this sucker? It's really old, though. With the Kenner toys from Star Wars. Okay, moving on. All right. Yeah, my nerd stuff never ends, guys. It never ends. All right, but so inside here, fantastic open, okay? All these great concert tickets and stuff. It has a massive picture book, okay? Pictures of Rush through the years. A lot of great pictures through here. And the beginning, let's see who wrote this. As usual, there's a story. Okay, Martin Popoff. Told you. Yeah, he's done a lot of their stuff through the years. So, this covers so much, and here's why. They went back, and remember we talked about R40, Russian Rio, and R30 being on DVD. Well, they were remastered for Blu-ray. So here's Russian Rio on Blu-ray. R30. Can I spin that around? Yeah, R30 on Blu-ray. Of course, Snakes and Arrows was already on Blu-ray, but on Blu-ray. Another page. And the next up we have Time Machine 2011 Blu-ray. And this final page is actually really cool, where we have the R40 tour, okay? Clockwork Angels. But then there's an entire bonus disc called the R40 disc, which has a lot of cool archival type footage, interviews, and then what they call the completist disc. And actually, that's my retrospective. Where's my completist disc? There it is. My completist disc. Yeah, this is another retrospective 3 disc, by the way. So, all right, but we're up to Blu-ray, where it has even more archival footage. Okay, this was such a great, because it brought everything to modern times. The the Blu-ray menus feel a little rushed. No pun intended. Oh, here we go. Thank you. But they do feel a little rushed, okay? But it's still a Blu-ray, right? This was remastered in high definition with better surround sound, either HD or like DTS or Dolby. So it's just fantastic. This is a great book. Pick it up if you can. The R40 Blu-ray collection, and it updates the old stuff, gives you copies of the new in case you didn't own them already, which of course, as I've proven, I've already owned all of those on Blu-ray, right? So another copy. But yeah, this was such an amazing Christmas present several years ago. Heck, at this point, that's like almost like 10 years ago, right? But I love this book. It's a great book with really cool cover art as usual, right? So there you go. So yeah, so through the years, we've gone from VHS tape to DVD to, of course, all these Blu-rays to the Blu-ray book. And that is something that really feels like it's missing. With the R50 big box set collection that we're going to cover in this video, we're going to do another deep dive into it. Video is missing. Where's the video? We need an R50 video boom, right? Let's just bring it all to the table. Everything. Let's just dump it all. I want that. I want to watch Rush. Not just listen. I have it all, okay? And yeah, there was a couple little bonus songs in there, but imagine if that included Blu-rays and archival footage and all those music videos brought to Blu-ray, even if they're 4x3, up-res to HD, great. Man, I would Rush, please, an R50 video collection. That would be so fantastic. Your next project. I know, Getty, you would love to work on that one. So guys, there you go. There's Rush in video.